Can I talk to you, lady? Just the other day, I ran into a good old friend of yours, and I had to ask her, how have you been? She told me you were engaged and happy. My heart fell to the floor, I know it should have been me, but I couldn't see you with no one else, but I'll believe it when I see you stand. Oh, I'll believe it. Tell you how I feel, yeah. Oh, I can't believe it. Forever. I thought I was invincible, no one could take my place. I still get funny feelings when I see your face. I know the love we shared was so real. In spite of all the ups and downs that we've been through, sometimes I wish I was there with you to share your world. You were my girl. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. I see you, Dawn. Slick J House. Good morning. Come on. Come on. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Good morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. This morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Good morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Are you ready for the truth? And nothing but the truth, so help you, Dawn. She's bringing it to you every weekday at 9 in the morning. So if you wanna hear the real, this is what you gotta do. Just log online and listen to Dawn speak her mind. To the book of Dawn. In the morning, you're listening to the book of Dawn. This morning, you're listening to the book of Dawn. This morning, you're listening to the book of Dawn. You're now tuned in to Dawn. Oh, sexy Dawn. What's in it for the black people media? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, Dawn. Come on, Dawn.
That's my girl voice. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sunshines. Good morning, nephew Ron.
Good morning, T.
With the fresh shell toes. I was like, yikes! I thought I was coming in here
Hey, this is my first pair of shell toes.
in your life.
Yep.
Oh, this is for the Culture Thursday for real. Well, welcome to the family. Now you're going to be slightly addicted, and because there's a lot, you got a lot of catching up to do.
Dope.
Yeah, those. Yeah, today. It's all about the three stripes. Good morning, Mary Q.
Good morning.
Good morning, May. He said, "What up?" That is so him. What up? Good morning, sunshines. It's the same OG, but a new page in the book of Dawn. Thank you for tuning in weekdays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We broadcast live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, no matter how you watch. We also appreciate you sharing your phones, your televisions, your computers. If you're at work, just turn it down a little bit because, you know, I'm the friend you can't put on speakerphone. So just turn it down sometimes. It is Thursday, May 13th. It's the 13th, right?
Yes,
okay. May 13th, and we do it for the culture. We are talking to one of a cultural black entertainment beast today, Kennard E. Gibbs, a Chicagoan, Todd Stroger's high school alumni brother, went to St. Ignatius, but has really made quite an impact in black media and continues to do it. So he'll be joining in. Make sure you open that room up. It's okay. He'll be joining us shortly, and so we're going to get some housekeeping out of the way. And you know, I'm going to start with what National Today is. Mary, I know you're not going to agree with some of this, but I've got to say that. I got to tell the people they need to know. I
Yes,
told
please.
Nephew Ron one of them. He was like, ugh.
Because who's making this up? But go ahead.
Right.
I can't wait to
Well,
hear
it's
it.
National Apple Pie Day. And he was like, ugh, I don't eat any pies.
Terrible.
There is nothing in the world better than a good apple pie a la mode.
The crust.
What do
Only
Alamo
the
mean?
crust.
It mean the ice cream on it?
It's warm with ice cream.
So the crust and the ice cream. I don't like the filling.
Me either. That's what I was telling.
Y'all just haven't had a good one.
I don't like any pie that has the fruit in it.
Listen,
Yes.
what do
I
I
agree.
always ask y'all when y'all say something like that? Who raised you? Y'all had apple pie?
Look, when I was young, my grandma used to make. She still make pies. I would just take the filling out. I take out the fruit. I pick them out and just eat the sauce and the crust.
That's me too.
Okay. Breathe deep.
I
You
am
too,
the
Mace?
same.
I mean, I like the crust and I like a layer of the filling. I could do without the actual fruit.
You feel me?
I will eat
Even a peach cobbler?
I mean, I like peach cobbler, but I prefer peach cobbler crust and juice.
Like
with
just
maybe one peach.
there you go.
Like, I like all of the juice, but I prefer not to have like the whole.
That's the
crunchy
right.
fruit. Like baked fruit is like.
That's the
kinda
right
slimy.
ratio.
But I am the king of Dutch apple pie.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you make them?
No,
Because I know you cook.
I don't make
Okay.
Dutch apple pies, but I love Dutch apple pie. I make it but I get the Marie calendars and then I scoop the guts out. And then but I like a little bit of the slime. Plus
The
then
slime,
ice
did he
cream
call
that
it the
goes on top of
slime?
it, heated crust, and then it melts, and it's like this. Because I'm an ice cream and cookies guy.
Okay.
So it's like almost
Okay.
ice cream and cookies with a butter crust. Apple and peach cobbler. I like the peaches. I'm a big peach guy, but I like raw. Like I like white.
Right, a
peaches, and
crunchy,
I like
yeah.
a crunch.
Yeah, I do
And
like
that
the crunch.
mush
Yeah.
is just kind of like
The
eating
mush.
a salad, like a salad without crunchy lettuce.
And that is
Like a wet salad. Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys.
The ratio
I was
can be a
thinking
lot
with
smaller.
butter, but
Well,
she said that's how I could protect my
Calories.
No, I put the paper towel on my dang on.
Oh,
salad,
yeah,
so it would be
yeah,
crunchy.
yeah.
Crunchy 'cause I won't make stuff.
Yeah, that was from Henergy. Listen, so shame on y'all because I eat blueberry pie and I eat apple pie and I eat cherry pie, but it can't be overly sweet. And I love peach cobbler, but crust is definitely a huge factor, but overly sweet anything makes my teeth feel like they're
You see
melting.
what Two said?
What'd he say?
Pie is ass.
What? So in my what is it?
Satia agrees too. She says, "Yeah, no fruit pies for me."
So this day is not winning.
But I
National
will
Pie
tell
Day
you,
is
remember
not
the
winning.
Hostess fruit pies though?
Yeah,
The
in the
Hostess.
in the in the
That came in the green
in the
and
one package.
and it was like a.
But they didn't have
That
that
was
much
the only
filling.
ones I would
Yes, it
eat.
is.
Well,
Apple
that's
pie.
because it was nothing in
and
there
I was
but sugar.
Yeah, I was scooping it out of that too. I was scooping the chunks out of that too.
Yeah, because those were apple pies. Those were apple. Remember those? That was so
They
high
didn't
school.
have that much of the mushy stuff inside of the
It
filling.
was because it was all sugar. It was just juicy sugar.
Then they started coming out with different flavors. They had like custard inside them.
Ugh. Yeah.
That happened
Who
after
eats
our
custard?
generation.
No, they had them.
Custard?
Yeah, it's like it's a yellow custard. I used to eat them.
So in my electric company voice and telling my age, 3 of these things belong together. One of these things is not like the other. Tell me which one. So
Okay.
do you remember that? Maze, I know you do because we're the same age. So yeah, I would be that. I'm the O and y'all the X's. Boo. Okay, it's International Hummus Day. I'm sure you like that.
I love hummus.
Yeah, I know. And I'm
But-
sure Brother Sadiq probably is not listening, but shouts out, it's your day. Hummus.
Who's making this stuff up? I need to look this up.
Well, I can't make it up.
Industries.
The hummus industry made today. Everybody like we need a day.
So how do they choose their days? I want to find out because there's
They have all of them. You can go on there. I've applied for 2 days. I haven't gotten it. It's
Oh,
a
you said
process.
you apply for the day?
I did. I told you that like months ago, but it's a process.
Wow. How long is the
It's been 4 months. I've had some interactions with them.
Wow.
There's like a little you have to make sure you're legit. You know, you just can't say National, Pick Your Boogers Day. And, so yeah,
and I'm so sure that exists as well.
I'm maybe on a different list. It is also it's 2 other days. since y'all here, one of these things I don't care for. I like it in its natural state, croutons. It's National Crouton Day. I don't like croutons because I feel like I'm eating stale bread. Because I don't like traditional toast. I don't want toast out of a toaster. I want ghetto toast, butter, 4 pads of butter, stick it in the oven.
You want like the middle of it to be like yellow and soft.
I want it in spots because I don't like where you pick it up and it just falls through because then you're not getting all the bread. But I definitely want it buttery. Like I don't just want to eat. And croutons are stale bread to me. Just give me the bread.
Crackers and salad or no?
Crackers in salad?
Yeah.
Where they do that at?
You guys never crunch crackers and put it in salad?
In
Ever?
my soup.
What the heck?
Okay, and there it's just me. It's just me then. That's
Yeah,
okay.
maybe you learned
That's
that
okay.
when you lived in Cali. I don't know about that one, kiddo.
My days.
Yeah, I barely want crackers in my soup. I like it on the side. And then last but not least, everybody ate this. You non-fruit eaters, all of you. Fruit cocktail, baby. We all grew up on it. If your mama had food stamps, if you ever been to a food pantry, you ate some fruit cocktails.
You know what my pops put me up on? We started putting fruit cocktail in our cereal, in our Frosted Flakes.
Oh, y'all from the... What the...
Yeah, my pop. It started off with bananas, and he was like, "Hey, try this too."
Sometimes I'm not ready, and I definitely
Try it. Look, strain.
Get your daddy on this thread.
It's a fruit cocktail.
I will
and strain
not.
Strain them.
That is
strain
not
juice
the
out,
same as
and put 'em
having
in your
fresh
Frosted
fruit
Flakes.
in your. I
Yes.
will Frosted Flakes. I love. It's my favorite cereal, but I will not add any more sugar to it, bro. It's already got enough to give you the sugars in one bowl. Y'all put mushy. You said you put mushy fruit.
But fruit cocktail ain't really mushy.
It so is mushy.
Fruit cocktail.
Can you
is
get
so nasty.
Lil Ron on the thread? Text Lil Ron. Tell him to
I'm
jump
finna
in
go.
because
Tell
me
him
and
to
Lil
jump
Ron
in
got to
right
have a
now.
conversation. Okay, Mary, can you just tell me the weather because I'm hot. I don't
Okay,
know if
okay,
it's the
so-
menopause or y'all's answers.
I am excited to report the weather today. It is all sunshine, 54 degrees, and the high is 63.
Yeah.
So it's time to play.
It is.
Like for real, for real.
It is about time.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have birthdays. Some of my favorite people. You remember Tony Kazoo, the keyboard player. He's the founder of New Black Renaissance and the co-founder of Park and Ride Band. Tony Kazoo, happy birthday, my Taurus brother, Team Taurus. Joy Artist, happy birthday, Renee Chandler. Toya Knowles, Shamika Finley, Greg Sane. What's up, Gregory? Jerry Weems, Sarai, Cherie Yvette, Stephanie Edwards. Y'all know her as Sparkle, the singer.
Oh,
Stephanie
wow.
Edwards is her real name. Alderman Pat Dow, happy birthday. Tiffany Jackson, the homeboy who, I was going to crack a joke, but he is very cool. Mark Giangreco, happy birthday. And Maranzio Vance out of California. Happy birthday from the Book of Dawn. Have a great day, y'all. Have a great sunny day. And if you're down south and you need me to send you some gas, let me know how I can get that to you. Do you know how much I paid for gas yesterday?
How much?
$4.80 a gallon. Jesus, it took me $100 to fill up my tank.
It's up there.
I'm shot. My nerves are shot.
Right now, I think I'm at like $30, $32 to fill the tank.
Oh Jesus, $100. Because I got to use the 93.
I know.
I'm like, I might get on the bus. Like, 'cause I ain't got no problem with the bus. I take the bus. I live off 30 bus lines. I'm okay with the train and the bus. Like, I'm not scared.
You do stay next to all the lines.
Yeah, I'm very okay. It's, $2 versus $4 for a gallon. That's crazy. And it burns faster when it costs more. In my head.
Yes, no, in my head as
I got the
well.
fresh car
I thought
wash
I was the
yesterday,
only one
though.
that noticed that.
Maze, I peeped you got a car wash too. Did you park? You didn't park on the side by the trees, did you?
Never again.
Because them birds will get you, baby.
I got a car wash too. I'm fresh.
Yeah, fresh. Because we get fresh crew. You got to get a car wash so we maintain our freshness. Word of the day is spelled. This is a tricky one, guys. SYNEDOCHE. comes from, it's a noun from the late Middle English, 1350s-ish. It's pronounced synecdoche. No, not the city. I know that one because I work for there. I know that in New York State it is, right?
Spell it again.
Syneddoche. Synecdoche. Okay? Like Doce, but it's not pronounced Doce because it's not whatever other language that is. Let me tell you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is a figure of speech in which a part of is made to represent the whole or vice versa. So, for instance, Wiftabum is synecdoche because it is what's in it for the Black people media. So if somebody made reference to us as Wiftabum, or you can switch it out, or what's in it for the Black people media. Jacksonville Jaguars. Some people just say the Jaguars.
So
Chicago Bears. Some people just say the Bears.
So what? And them. Would that be what's next?
Going to break.
Synecdoche.
And them.
Synecdoche.
Synecdoche.
The key.
Phonetically, it's written Synecdukey. Synecdoche.
Instead of saying I'm going to be on the Book of Dawn with Mary and Dawn, I just say I'm going to be on the Book of Dawn with them.
No,
Mary
no,
them. Mary and them.
no. Instead of saying I'm going to be on the Book of Dawn, you could say I'm on Bod, because that is Synecdoche.
I need to see it.
You want me to spell it again?
Because I feel like you can do that with nicknames. Like
You probably
Queenie is
could.
the synecdoche of Mary.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
Right, 'cause
same.
the letters would be acronyms.
No, it's because it's a reference. Because you can't. Because that's not a real word. If it was the what's in it for the Black people media people, that you know what I'm saying. That is us. It's not typically that hashtag and the way we've shortened it is not how other Jacksonville Jaguars are not hashtagging initials. So that's one and the same. You get me?
Yes.
Okay, good. A lot of news that we probably I'm gonna throw some Ellen is not doing her. She's decided to retire from the game of TV shows. I'm an Ellen fan. Why? She didn't. She's probably on TV talking about right now. She was doing the TV circuit this morning to do some interviews talking about why she has decided to end her talk show. I know they mentioned, she said she wasn't challenged anymore. And I'm thinking,
well,
were you ever challenged? Right.
But then you have the pandemic that came in and robbed all the guests from having in-person experiences. So that might have something to do with it, or make the decision a little bit easier, at least.
True.
Did they stop having guests?
Well, she did. They're back to partial, but for a while they were able to transform to virtual guests, and they had you could sign up and be a virtual guest, and your face would come up on your screen.
But that's hard. Wouldn't you rather interact in person as opposed to virtual if you could choose one over the other?
Yeah, I just feel like Ellen her challenge might be, she just might be ready. She's so big with production and other shows. She's got that game show.
Yes.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
And, maybe it's just time for her to move to a more back of the house, creative, getting more money, and then just the grind. It's a grind.
It is a grind.
That's a lot. I just hope that in her last season, I can get on Ellen's favorite things. I missed Oprah. I just want to get on Ellen's just because she gives out good gifts.
You can do it.
It's not you get a car, but it's better than that. It's better than you get a car. And so if anybody knows Ellen and is watching, please make certain that you hook me up so that I can get on the last favorite thing show.
What do you think is the next best show that's coming up that's going to take over Ellen, that Ellen spot? Because is it safe to say that Ellen took over the Oprah spot?
And some others.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that there is one.
Like Kelly Clarkson,
Hecky no.
Dawn Milhouse.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that part. I would actually, yeah, because it won't be Gail. That's for sure.
She's a whole other tone.
I just can't. You know, I like Tamron Hall's show. I don't see it a lot, but like regularly. But when I do see it, I like it.
Okay.
I like Kelly Ripa too, but she's probably close to quitting as well because she's been doing it for a long time. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know I'm a J-Lo fan too, right? I need to call her. Can we have Love McPherson call J-Lo? Cause what is she doing? Like, you now back with a guy you date. Her and A-Rod broke up. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He seemed very, very much so in love with her too. That's the last. Okay.
I'm just.
So now she's back with an old boyfriend.
Yeah. What you doing, J-Lo? Like, what are you
doing, J-Lo?
A lot of it. And hey, listen. You know, to each of.
Going back to her ex is better than.
Is it really? Because I
starting
feel
over altogether.
I don't know that I agree with that. I'm just thinking. Sometimes you have to remember why you left a person. They don't necessarily change.
What if you leave on good terms? Like, yo, it's just not our time right now. We got too much different stuff going on.
Okay,
that's possible.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
Sorta. That would take two really mature people.
It's possible.
Really, like, super duper mature. Okay, but okay, I'm just saying. Just have a little chill, little bit more chill. She's a badass. I'm a huge fan of Jennifer.
So you saying that she should have chill time before
Just
she gets to the next
hold
person?
on. Do you know Jen?
She a busser. She been a busser.
Oh boy.
Oh, I cannot.
I'm
just saying, can you?
That's the whole point I was trying to make about going back to an ex. You don't really seem like a busser, or you don't seem like you're getting around too much if it's an ex.
Let me just say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm standing on it. Sometimes just date your damn self. Like, you will never find happiness if you just keep bouncing. What's that song? Bouncing around. Bouncing around. You just sit down somewhere and date yourself, because you have to know you to really be in a successful relationship. And I know there's a reason and a season and a lifetime for everything. But if you constantly, I'm not with that person, I'm with that person, and then you start overlapping, something ain't right on the inside of you that's making you bounce like that. And you gotta sit your tail down and have conversations and date yourself a little bit. Go with yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's that, like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Because I date you, and then 2 days later I'm dating him, and 3 months after that, what? That's a lot. That's a lot of movement. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be back. Tell me what you think. Should you keep bouncing around? No break? Okay, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. It's the Book of Dawn. Stay tuned.
WIIFTBPN. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Week letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing Black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
Comment.
and share
That thing.
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
To 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Hey baby girl, if you're thinking it's that same dude, this ain't that same dude that tried to talk to you. I'm older now and my conversation's alright. What you wanna talk about? Good seeing you tonight. I compliment you on your hair, your outfit, and your smile. I know you're tripping cause you haven't seen me in a while. But I'm older now, and I know more now. Don't you go nowhere, cause I'm ready, girl. I know I played some bogus games with you, girl. I wasn't ready, I wasn't a man for you, girl. I'm older now, I changed my ways on you, girl. I'm ready, girl. Baby, I'm grown now. Ain't other boy playing childish games. I wait up to a young man trying to find you, babe. I can be all up in your mix, making you feel straight. Cause I'm a grown man, doing grown man things. Started other boy playing childish games. I wait up to a young man trying to find you, babe. I can be all up in your mix.
Is that the door? Somebody at the door? That's Kennard. Good morning. No, that's not a.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hold on. Look, I said that like I'm on the phone with you, Kennard. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, Kennard.
Good morning, Dawn. How you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Looking lovely as always. I'm great. I'm good.
Kennard, are you gonna ever age?
Come on. Only when you do.
Okay, well then let's make a deal that will never happen. Welcome to the Book of Dawn, Kennard. I'm not gonna tell him your middle name, even though I got a broadcast brother with the same name, Kennard Gibbs. Born Chicagoan. Now you are on the East Coast, right?
You know, I moved back to Chicago just recently.
Did you?
Moved before COVID. Yeah. So
Well, welcome home.
good to be home. Always.
Good stuff. I haven't seen you since my restaurant was open.
It's been a while, and I miss that place too. I
Sonia,
miss that live music.
Sonia does my flyers, and when I sent her the flyer, I forgot to send your picture, and Sonia said, "Do you have a picture?" I said, "Girl, you know what he looked like. Google it." No, I met Kennard because of you. Of course, you know what Kennard looks like. Hey, no, I probably shouldn't say that. I'll say that offline. Kennard Gibbs is a born Chicagoan and a black media entertainment catalyst. I asked him months ago to be on the show, but he is a very busy man. And I asked him specifically to be on this show on a Thursday, because on Thursdays, Kennard, we do it for the culture. Because I'm still trying to make a clear understanding of how we bridge the culture we know, or when we make reference to the culture, how we bridge that to the next generation. Because I feel like it's being watered down in not necessarily our children, but in the generation after that. What did y'all tell me that's the Z's, or what's the one?
Generation Z?
Yeah. That's 21-ish, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Kennard, because I know your background, because I know the work that you've done with Vibe magazine, which really was one of our very first cultural, for the culture kind of magazine publications, your work with BET, your work with Soul Train, it seems like that your passion and your dedication is to maintaining the greatness of the culture, and that's why when I'd say, can you do this day, and you said maybe Tuesday, I wanted to specifically have you in a day that we talk about culture, because I'm struggling, Kennard, and I need your help in helping me define for our viewers how we bridge this gap in our cultural experiences and what culture is to Generation Z, and maybe some of what is after. The fact that I'm a baby boomer, am I a baby boomer? Because I'm getting nervous. I'm getting old.
Yeah, you're a boomer.
I am, okay, Jesus Christ. I just had a hot flash. Kennard, tell me, when I met you, you were working in advertisement at Leo Burnett Advertising, one of the giants of marketing and advertising in the world, not just in the States. You also were going to school to get your master's, and then soon after you left Leo Burnett and started your journey specifically in Black culture. Can you tell me a little bit about what you did at Leo Burnett and how that experience prepared you for the Vibe magazine, which was the next stop in your journey?
Yeah. So first off, Dawn, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm glad, and thank you for sticking with me and the craziness of scheduling so that we could get together. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy for you, proud of everything that I've watched you do over the years here. And somebody behind you.
Oh, that's Maze? How come I can't see him?
What up, Kennard? How you feeling, boy?
What's good, brother?
I'm like, there he is. It's the delay.
It's a delay.
Yeah, because I'm like, how come I can't see him? I knew he was there, but I couldn't see his face. Okay. All right. Cool.
Funny.
Isn't that funny?
So, yeah, going back to Leo Burnett, I mean, Dawn, I did not have any idea of what advertising was as a business.
So if you want to buy the network,
as
you ain't tripping.
Kennard, May said, if you want to buy the network, he ain't tripping. And since it happened on the Book of Dawn, you're going to put me in on the shareholder side, okay?
Right. You're going to be on that cap table, right? But, it was, I had no idea or understanding, as I think a lot of people don't, how powerful the advertising industry is, how it works, the importance of it, and really, the business side of what we think of as just marketing. So being at Leo Burnett, working on some of the largest brands in the world that advertised at the time, it was, cigarette brands, Marlboro, Sealy Posturepedic, Miller Beer, and understanding, the millions of dollars that were spent on creating a certain image of a product, right, to appeal to someone. So I honestly, the only thing I knew about advertising, and I tell people this all the time, is I used to watch Bewitched when I was a kid. And I know a lot of folks may not remember that show, but it was Bewitched is right with the witch, and her husband, Daryl Stevens, worked at an ad agency, and he always had this bag that he carried, a portfolio, right? But I never knew anything beyond that about the business of advertising, the careers that could be had in advertising, and how it was a part of that media entertainment ecosystem. And once I got in, and once I saw and began to learn, I was hooked in terms of understanding, okay, this is really where a lot of the power rests in actually creating, images for brands. So that was my introduction. And then that led me to the media side of the business. So I went from the advertising side, creating ads, the whether it was for television or print, whatever, to the media side, which was really the distribution for the advertising. That led me to the Vibe business. Yeah.
Okay, and now let me just, as a fellow peer in marketing, what I think we should do is, because many people don't know, is that people think that marketing and advertising are two different things, when actually advertising is under the umbrella of marketing.
Correct. Correct.
And so I think that it's important to make that distinction, because I've had numerous conversations when people say, "Are you in marketing?" And then they'll say, "Oh, I'm in advertising." I'm thinking, you're actually under the same. It's the same. It's just a different discipline in the marketing umbrella. And
That's
so
exactly
it
right.
encompasses advertising and
PR,
PR, communication.
yeah.
All of that is under. It's like saying I'm an engineer, and then you have a civil and a electrical and all the
Audio.
all of that is. You have to. The process is the same in learning, and then you make a concentration in a different direction. But in saying that, when you went to the Vibe, you made Leo Burnett paid well. Y'all got, you were well cared for.
Yeah.
But you made a decision to go to a newer company with the Vibe magazine. Was that hard, and why did you make that decision?
It was probably the best decision I had ever made in my life, professional wise. I had sought the counsel of folks that I really trusted, some of whom and asked them about this kind of career move. But I was young, and their perspective was, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work out, and then what? Well, you can always go get another job in advertising.
Right.
But the thing about Vibe was that the person that founded it was a good friend of mine. We had met when we were interns together in New York, last summer, senior summer in college. And he called me and said, "Hey, man, I got this magazine." It was his second magazine. He had started another magazine called Urban Profiles, and this was all New York based. And he was trying to expand that and bring it to Chicago. Asked me if I would, help him make some introductions and get him in some of these agencies, ad agencies. So he called me back later and said, "Man, I got this hip hop magazine, man, that I really think could blow up. Tom Warner is interested in funding it, and Quincy Jones. I've been in touch with him, and he loves the concept too." I said, "All right, cool. Keep me in the loop." And as things progress, and then finally things really began to progress pretty quickly. And he hit me and said, "Hey, would love it. Would you think about joining this, man?" And I had to think. I was leaving something very established, had a very clear career path, but I was so passionate about hip hop and what was going on with the music, and I had spent time in New York, so I understood it was larger than just the music. It was a culture that was emerging, and I found that very exciting. And so I jumped in. I wasn't even 30 yet, so I opened up the Chicago office for Vibe, and the rest is history.
I think that I don't think, but that him reaching out to you beyond your friendship, what a lot of people have discounted is Chicago's contribution to all of the culture,
Yeah.
particularly music and entertainment. And so
Absolutely.
in doing that, that allowed you to broaden the awareness and perspective of your hometown on a global stage, because Vibe was, for the lack of a better way to say it, when we were younger, we had Fresh magazine. Y'all didn't have a magazine like Fresh where you get the pinups and you put them on your wall, but Vibe magazine was that for that era. Does that make sense, Kennard?
Oh yeah, no question, no question. It and there were so many things that were so pivotal about the evolution of Vibe in terms of, not just covering. We weren't just a fanzine, right? We weren't
Yes.
just doing covers of the hottest artists of that time. We were looking at issues that were affecting the culture, right? So we ushered in, the growth of urban fashion. You had never seen or heard of urban fashion brands before, right? So we served as a platform for them to get more exposure. And but from an editorial perspective, I mean, man, it was when I moved from Chicago to New York to run the magazine. So I started in Chicago with just the regional office, and then my man that brought me on, they left to go start up some other magazines. Quincy said, "Hey, Kennard, would you be willing to come to New York to run the whole franchise, which consisted of Chicago, New York, and LA. And we had an office in Milan, Italy as well. So, my role, my scope, the responsibilities that I had grew tremendously. I was now managing over 100 people, P&L, the whole nine. Having to be an ambassador for the magazine within the culture, right? Dealing with music executives, the Puffs, the Russell Simmons, the Kevin Loud, you name it, all of that, right? But I was young and I was excited, and being from Chicago in a lot of ways helped me because as that hip hop game and the music game was so New York centric, so intertwined. It went back, relationships, and by being from Chicago, I had a fresh pair of eyes on it, fresh perspective. Everybody respected people from Chicago because we were always a little different. We moved a little differently. We were probably a little quieter, but we were wise to things. You know what I mean? But, so I could be my authentic self. I didn't have to go in there like I was, representing the Bronx or Harlem or whatever.
You didn't have to. I'm gonna do a shots fired right now. You didn't have to go in there like some of these DJs I hear that I know was born in the Ickies on the radio right now in Chicago talking about, yo son, what up, God? I'm like, bruh, you from 22nd Street. Stop talking like that. Stop.
Exactly.
I know your mama.
That's exactly right.
Because when did that become the way you have to talk on radio? But that's a whole nother show. That's what I'm talking about, learning these babies, the culture. Okay, Kennard, I'm a signifying monkey. You've known me a lot of my adult years, probably all of them. But I'm only 35. I don't even know how that happens. You then left Vibe and worked for two other humongous Black publications, Ebony and Jet.
Yeah.
Did that cross over, or was that a complete stop with Vibe and then a new transition into Ebony and Jet?
It was a complete stop. So with Vibe, right, about 2006, I tried to buy the magazine and put together a group. We put together an offer, and I think we offered like $85 million for the magazine. And the private equity firm that was the majority owner thought that we were lowballing. They were holding out for, $100 million or whatever. So we ended up not getting it. And that was devastating, honestly. I had put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, into the business. And to see, to not end up successfully acquiring it was painful for me. So I took a step back and decided, okay, so what am I going to do next? And that's led me down a path of initially doing some consulting, right? So Linda Johnson Rice reached out to me, said, hey, would you be interested in doing some work with us here at Ebony and Jet? And I said, sure, but I'm working on another project that I'm very passionate about, because I had started a production company, and I was in negotiations to acquire Soul Train from Don Cornelius. So I said, as long as you're cool with that and you understand that when this and if this happens, that's what my passion is. And she was cool. She said, yeah. But yeah, I did a stint at Ebony and Jet briefly, and to be a part of an amazing publication like that with such a story, legacy, not just in Chicago but worldwide, was great.
Sure. Now I'm glad you mentioned the Soul Train, because that is it's, first of all, it's fascinating knowing that Don Cornelius started that journey for the world. Again, another huge movement in and of itself in culture, and in defining moment in history for Black Chicago, started right here in Chicago. Where did the concept of acquiring Soul Train and bringing that back to life, where did that vision come from?
Well, it does go back to understanding. I watched Soul Train as a kid, right? And a lot of people don't know Soul Train used to be a daily show. It came on every afternoon. And my mother was a teacher at Parker High School. And I would sit, I was no older than 6, 7, but I remember watching it with her because her students would be dancing on Soul Train. And so that was my personal connection to it. And of course, like everybody on Saturday mornings, that's what you did. You watched Soul Train. So my connection to that brand was very personal. It came about as I was had started a production company, was getting exposed to a lot of different deals that were going on in the space. And there was one person in particular who I consider a dear, dear friend and mentor, a guy by the name of Clarence Avant. If you don't know the story, exactly, check it out, The Black Godfather, on Netflix. It's a fascinating glimpse of the power of a man like Clarence Avant, just within Black entertainment and Black culture. But anyway, I was fortunate enough to count him as a friend and a mentor. He told me that he was helping Don with selling Soul Train. I said, hey, would you help, me try to connect the dots? I can get the financing if you could help me connect the dots. And he said, no problem. It took us about 9 months. Spent a lot of time with Don. What an amazing, you want to talk about stories. The stories that he could recount of being the only Black man really in television and in the music game was just fascinating. And it all started with a vision that he had. And to watch and see that vision, when he sold it to me, Soul Train was the longest running television show in all of television syndication.
Wow.
It had been on consecutively for over 35 years.
Wow.
Think about that. He was a Black, and he owned his show. He didn't have, co-owners. It was him. It was his vision. And, that's good and that's bad, right? He was such a strong personality, but he was committed to one thing and one thing only, and it was showing Black people in a different light.
Yeah.
So
he was from and so have you guys seen the show, the Soul Train show? Not the old one, the one that Kennard.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, Kennard, do you have a season coming up, or is that finished? Okay.
I don't. So what I basically acquired from Don was the library of over 1,400 hours of shows.
Okay.
And I was working on, with Nick Cannon, a deal to bring reimagined version of that as a dance show to television. And this was right before Nick, you know, he had a very successful run as America's Got Talent. He was, you know, and understanding the entertainment business, you got to have some, you know, hot celebrity talent that you're associated with to bring productions to light. You know, that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
Nick was going to executive produce the show with me, and he was also going to host it. Nick got into it with the folks at NBC. As you remember, they took his deal from him.
Yep.
And so our deal got caught up in that. I had concurrently done a deal with BET to bring the award show to life. And that's what you see on BET. You see the Soul Train Awards show. And it ended up that I ended up selling Soul Train to BET. So now they own the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which also, crazy, you gave one Black History fact, because I try to give one a day. You just gave probably a bigger one than I could, because being syndicated and running 35 years and being Black on mainstream TV is an anomaly.
It is.
And then you brought up another one, because BET was also a pioneer in Black entertainment and television. So did you have any involvement in the show that was, what was it, two seasons ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was I was involved originally when it first came to BET. I executive produced the show along with BET executives. And now I don't have anything to do with it from a production perspective. I took another role at BET in ad sales, heading up their Midwest region. So that's what I focus on now with them. But I'm still close to it. You know, I'm still
Let
keep
me
my eye
say
on
this,
it.
Kennard, it is fascinating for a kid who definitely, in black and white TV, couldn't wait to see the dancers and the performers, to see the other side, and more importantly, to know that it was truth. Because I know you and the integrity of you as a human, you know, when you watch certain productions, you have to question, what are they, whose message is that? Is that real? Is it not real? Is there permissions to share that? That was unfiltered Don Cornelius, and he was I don't know, was he a Taurus? Because he was a handful. God,
He
what
was.
his? Okay, we're gonna take a break. Let's take a break now, and then we'll come back. If you have not seen it, go back and watch it. It still matters. But we're gonna keep talking to Kennard when we come back after the break. Kennard, I got a joke for you. I don't know if you know my joke game is strong, but I got a joke for you when we come back. It's the Book of Dawn.
Okay.
Stay with us.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
Comment
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in it for the Black People Media.
When you got to Kennedy King, so you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Punch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Murder, man. I got it in with y'all one day before a game, and then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King, and I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long, and Corey will tell this story to this day. He says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound, and before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. and it was you. And you caught it, classic P-Mac, catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4", easy.
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey was 6'4", man. I used to just, I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught earlier, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming.
Okay.
Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Good morning. Yeah. I see you, Dawn. Slick J Adams. Good morning. Come on. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Good morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. This morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Good morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn. Are you ready for the truth? And nothing but the truth, so help you, Dawn. She's bringing it to you every weekday at 9 in the morning. So if you wanna hear the real, this is what you gotta do. Just log online and listen to Dawn speak her mind. You're listening to the book of Dawn in the morning. You're listening to the book of Dawn this morning.
Girl voice.
Oh, sexy Dawn.
What's in it for the light skin black people media? They keep forgetting about the light skin. We got to remix that. Welcome back. You're tuned into the Book of Dawn. We do it for the culture on Thursday. We are having a conversation with our own Chicago and Kennard Gibbs. I almost said his middle name again. And so before we continue with this cultural conversation, which I don't think that there's a better person that we can talk to about understanding truly what was then, what was when we were youngins, and the direction or the misdirection, whichever side of the fence you sit on, of our culture in music and fashion, and I want to get Kennard's perspective on that after I do my stand-up audition and win again, right, nephew? Because I'm gonna win again, right? Okay. Maybe. Why couldn't Dracula's wife fall asleep? That look. Why you got that look?
Thank you.
Y'all not ready. This is funnier than I thought. Kennard, why couldn't Dracula's wife fall asleep?
Lord, I don't know. Why couldn't Dracula's wife fall asleep?
Nephew?
Oh, yeah, I'm stumped on this one.
You stumped?
She was stuck coughing.
Because of his coughing.
I was almost there.
You were warm. You know how when you're little and you say, you're warm, you're warm. I was warm. Yeah, because he kept coughing.
Coughing.
That was funny, right? Okay. Well, Kennard, I'm telling you, I've got so much, in my mind on this side, I'm an actress. In my mind on that side, I'm a comedian. Somewhere back there, I'm a boxer.
Oh,
Yeah, so, it's a whole lot. And back in the day, I played in the NBA before women had a pro league. And Mark Aguirre will vouch for that, in my mind. Anyway, culture. Kennard, you know culture from your experience living in Chicago. You know culture from living in New York. You know culture from a different perspective working with a global marketing and advertising agency. You know culture from Vibe magazine, the face of fashion and music and cultural issues from Vibe. Then you move to Ebony and Jet, which is in a class by itself in what they did for culture across the board. Because Jet magazine was about everything, not just music. It was the beauty of the week, and it was news, and it was information, and then the Soul Train perspective. I struggle with the weakening, in my opinion, or the watering down of truly the culture. I'd like your perspective on where did we go wrong and how do we make certain that those Gen Z and the people behind them understand the value of our contribution to the entire world.
You know, it's so it starts with education, it starts with history, right? And really understanding. But something you said when you were recounting very eloquently those different stops along the way for me, media outlets, is that an evolution occurred, a technological evolution has occurred that is you gotta acknowledge, and that is the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the internet was the death knell for magazines. You know, the magazine business has changed dramatically because of the internet and social media. No one has to wait a month to read anything about their favorite artist, any celebrity, right? So once technology kind of ignited this whole, it upended the business model totally. Not just for magazines, but also for television, right? Mm-hmm. And it's democratized giving even yourself, right, an outlet to have another perspective out there, another voice. You know, when we were kids, you only had channels 2, 5, and 7, 9, 26, and 32.
And they went off at night.
Exactly. And they went off at night. So, you know, I realized that with Vibe as well, towards the end, as we began to see the internet impact our business. You know, I had, yes, overview over Vibe.com, but I couldn't really wrap my arms around why I always needed to do a refresh of the website. What did that mean? How was I going to monetize it? You know, and why should I be spending so much resources on that when I had a vehicle that was a magazine that was reaching, you know, many thousands, hundreds of thousands more people.
Sure.
So a lot of it is based upon this democratization, right, of the outlets, which is a good thing. The historical piece to it is we just have to continue to keep that alive, because the reality is this: black culture right now is at its epicenter. A lot of people are saying that what we're experiencing right now is a black renaissance. I can certainly tell you that from a marketing branding perspective, all of these major brands are trying to understand how can they better connect with African American consumers. Many of them are coming to grips with the fact that, be it not for our buying of their products, they would not be nearly as profitable as they are, whether it's a QSR like McDonald's or it's a Walmart. I mean, you name it, right? Mm-hmm. I can tell you countless brands where we have an oversized appetite for their products, and they're beginning to realize that, and hopefully they say they're going to invest, you know, more in black media, black owned media, you know. So we'll see, but you know, that's a perspective.
So let me ask you this, because I also struggle with, he's my culture counselor, obviously. I also struggle with I mean, and maybe because I am in marketing and I understand it, but I struggle when I see the brand, in my opinion, take a step down and overly, you go from being this elite brand with, these one of a kind looks and styles, and then you wake up. You don't work with New Balance, do you?
I don't, but
Okay,
I'm very aware of them. Yeah.
Okay, so New Balance, we grew up, New Balance were the runners shoe, right? Or the person with a wider foot, right? Nobody wore them. We didn't want to, it wasn't a thing. I'm not going to the store buying New Balance. I'm just not. Why would I wear those, right? You get to be a teenager or a young 20-something, and all of a sudden, New Balance, after having the same dusty brown one shoe your whole life, you can go buy them in neon every color, i.e. Timberland. I love Timbs. I wear Timbs. But then there was a stretch there where you could go buy a Tim in every color. You know who they selling it to. I can't embrace the disrespect, because I feel like, so y'all just put anything on it and we buy it. How do we take a stand against that as a culture so that they can respect that there is value in our money? I feel like that's pimping us out. Let me just put some lime green on it. They'll buy it. I'm not going to Great America. Like, what the, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. But how is that not? How do you feel about that?
I think you're right. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've talked to companies that have done that. Funny story about Timberland, right? Now, we all know coming up in the 90s how Timbs were, required street, footwear, right? You had to have some Timbs. But I remember distinctly going to the Timberland headquarters up in New Hampshire, right? And talking to their head of marketing about advertising in the magazine, because they didn't. Wow. And I couldn't understand why was it that they didn't advertise in Vibe. And I mean, we know the strength of the Timberland brand in the urban community. And he basically told me we don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because why would I spend money to advertise to you and you're already buying my product? Basically.
Oh, okay. Well, he kept it real.
Deep. It was a deep conversation. And you're right. To some degree, we certainly have been we've been economically exploited. We know that. We've seen that, right? But there's power in that consumerism, and that's what I think, I hope that we're beginning to really understand, the power of our consumerism and using that to our advantage so that we won't be disrespected by these brands. I could tell you countless. I had a similar conversation with Ralph Lauren. Right?
I was gonna bring that up, actually. I was gonna bring
similar conversation with them about, why was it that you would only advertise your jean line in the magazine? Why just the jeans, right? And I would compare that to the fact that I was getting advertising from Burberry and Dior, right? Mm-hmm. Couture brands. Yet, you can't even give an American brand. I mean, we wear your Ralph Lauren in half, right? So it was in the fashion game. That was something that I really got my eyes open to. What drove, the fashion business, how music and fashion were interlinked. I really got exposure to that when I started going to the shows in Milan and in Paris. That just blew me away in terms of, but I really also understood how Black was driving. We've always driven culture. Yeah. You go to a show in Milan and you're hearing Biggie playing as the models are walking down the runway and there's no one Black in there but you. And you're like, wow, what is this all about?
On the Ralph Lauren, what I can say for him, them, whoever it is they never watered their product down to they were either like, you come and this is what we have, or don't come. That's what I can say for them. not that that excuses their inability to receive the fact that we are probably one of the greatest consumers of certain pieces of their wardrobe. Because I live down the street from Ralph Lauren, and I'm gonna tell you, the price tags on some of that stuff, it's like, oh, okay, that was cute in the window till I saw the tag. But you never seen a lime green Ralph Lauren shirt. Like, you've seen some of that knockoff brand that I don't know if it's their same brand that you can get from the lesser tiered stores. I don't know
The
if
Beverly Hills polo.
Yeah, I don't know that that's the same thing, and maybe that is their.
It's different. It's different.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
different.
So
I talked to him too, actually, the CEO of that company. Interesting.
Because there's a lot of that in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Barbara Bates yesterday, and she talked about the lack of support of Black people with high-end couture Black brands when they would rather go stand in line to spend an entire stimulus check on Michigan Avenue. Do you have an opinion or a perspective on that?
Yeah, we've always struggled, unfortunately, and I've known Barbara and I've had this conversation with her as well. You know, our culture, we've always wanted to show, we felt that there was a badge value, right? We've always been big on badge value. So this Gucci that, this Fendi that, this Hermes that, whatever it is, it seemed to in some way validate us, right? Or we felt that. And I'm speaking broadly, of course, but it has something to do with that. It has something to do with the fact that with fashion, it's all driven by perception. And a number of our Black couture brands don't have the notoriety or people don't know enough about them, right? You know, when you look at what Gucci has done with Dapper Dan in terms of building his place out in Harlem, right? And they went from once trying to get him arrested, right, for trademark infringement, to now embracing him for the genius that he is, right? That's an interesting movement, you know, when you have Virgil, you know, as the head designer, you know, for Louis Vuitton. That's I think some acknowledgement of our creativity, you know. But to that point, absolutely right. We've always struggled with Black couture brands getting as much shine or being as recognized. But typically, a lot of them don't have as much money to put towards their advertising. So a lot of people, therefore, don't really know about them. You know, the stylists, many of whom you know, the June Ambroses and folks like that who I love, they're very quick. You know, it's a game to it all, right?
Yeah.
The clothes that they get to style people in, you know, they use. And if they're not getting the clothes from the Black designers, but then some artists that are a bit more aware will ensure that they only work with Black couture designers for their runway looks, for their shows.
Yeah.
You know, Solange is well known for doing that, you know. Even Beyonce has done that, I believe. So there's, you know.
I
But
guess
it's a process.
And I think that maybe that would be if we all took a third or a quarter or a half of our ability to make that demand, or where we if everybody takes a third of themselves or a quarter of their fashion purchases and make certain that we contribute to the Black fashion artists or couture designers or whatever the product is, that's a start. I just don't know how we reprogram our brains not to be so hyper focused on the name of it. Now, let me be clear. I do wear clothes out of all those stores, but I also don't have a problem. I honestly would shop at a secondhand shop. Like, I like what I like. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care whose name is on it. I got some of the dopest pieces in the world right out of Costco. Amen. And they look, and people think it's Banana Republic. It's just, you have to know who's wearing it, because everything that is designer is definitely doesn't look good on everybody. That's
so true.
Yeah. Take that off. They didn't make
true.
that for you. Yeah, they didn't make
Right.
that for you. Them skinny
Right.
jeans on some man, that's not for y'all.
Right.
So let me ask you, what I know you're working back in sales now, and it seems like that's a comfortable space because you don't really have to. Will you do something on your own? Will you ever? I mean, obviously, if the right opportunity presents itself, but what is next for you? Like, you're energetic, you're extremely smart, and you've just begun. And I say that like as if I were Mike Hall talking to you, because he's still probably working. What's next for you?
I mean, yeah, so I have a couple of projects that I'm working on. I'm very excited about. I have another Vibe project that's being pitched right now for television that I'm very excited about. I'm a investor and founder of a cybersecurity company that I'm very excited about. We all know about all these breaches that are occurring, and that is, something that I'm putting a lot of effort into as well. So a lot of different things, I always have something going on. Because I just can't sit down.
Yeah, that's the influence of Mike Hall early
It
on.
It is.
He's a good
Definitely.
brother, though.
Yes, he is.
So let me tell you, as I'm doing research on you, I found out some things about you, Kennard, that I never knew. You eat chitlins.
A lot.
I did not know that. So that's probably your
My people
connection.
from the South. They're from the South.
I
Everybody
know.
from the South.
I found out your people from Mississippi, the crooked
Yep.
letter. I found that out. But I never knew. You've always been so polished and well-spoken. And the hood, you hid the hood very well under your movement at Leo Burnett. I said he eats chitlins. What the? Which makes sense. Your other favorites are coleslaw and spaghetti, because that is a whole meal.
It all go together.
It all
goes together.
The only thing missing was the fried fish. I said,
Well, I'll throw that in there too now.
let's be clear. Sonya said, yes, Sonya, 45th and Evans still will eat some chitlins, okay?
Yes.
I don't know. That one took me back. I also found out that your favorite color is the same favorite color as Mr. Milhouse, and that's orange. That's a very powerful color. I found out your favorite season, and I don't even know how you could make this distinction. Being born and raised in Chicago is fall, because I feel like we don't have seasons. We have Chicago, and it is what it is, because it's fall now, but it's supposed to be spring. But fall. Why is fall your favorite season?
So once I went away to school, I was up in Massachusetts, in New England, and I loved the colors of New England in the fall. And then when I lived in New York for almost 20 years, we lived upstate. Right? I didn't live in the city all the time, so it was very rustic. It was beautiful, and I just loved it. I love the fall. I love the woods, all of that.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I do like fall, but I'm glad you're back in Chicago, because I think I'm pretty sure God is intentional, right? And certain things are made for such a time as this. I think in one of coming out of a pandemic, we have an opportunity to start, for the lack of a better way to say it, fresh, right? And I think having people like you back home that have been there and done that, there's not a lot of, you can't really go toe-to-toe if you're a light featherweight with a heavyweight. And having the presence of you right here tangibly in our community will help us that it matters to make a difference, so that the history and our culture is not lost, where children think saying skirt, skirt, and twerk, twerk, and all, you know, the album I'm going to put out is soul music, you know, 30 years from now. I've struggled with that. Even though I'm probably going to make an album and exploit it. It's going to be titled Skirt, Skirt by Dawn. All you got to do is make a bunch of sounds, and then you go platinum. But I do have a project that I want to talk to you offline about, because it's I'm actually gonna text you after, because it's deep, and I cannot do it by myself. But I have to ask you, because I know you went to St. Ignatius with Todd Stroger, or maybe he went 100 years before you, because he's 250 years old. But still from Chicago. Do you put sugar or salt and pepper on your grits, Kennard?
On my grits?
Yeah.
Sugar and butter.
Oh, Lord Jesus, he's so shy. Now, I know this one might get tricky for you, because you did a 20-year stint in New York, but do you wear sneakers or gym shoes?
See, that's just like popping soda for me, right?
That's my next question, so you can answer them at the same time.
Yeah. I would say gym shoes.
Okay. And what about, is it soda or pop that you drink?
I drink pop, although I did go a very long stint calling it soda, but I drink pop.
Hey, when in Rome, you do as Romans do, right?
Right.
How about, since you eat chitlins, I know you can answer this question: ketchup or mustard on your hot dog?
Both.
With the neck turn. Do you drive on the freeway or the expressway?
Wow. The expressway.
Okay. Do you shop at Jewel's or Jewel?
Jewel.
You only say that because you only say that now because you got 13 degrees. But back in the day, I'm sure you said Jewel's.
I did, but it's like being from Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, facts. Indeed. Do you go to the movies or the show?
The show.
I'm afraid to ask where you lived in Chicago, but I feel like you're telling me through all your answers. Did you go to kindergarten or kindergarten?
Oh wow, that's a really good one. I went to kindergarten.
Did you eat Yitos or
at
gyros?
McDade?
Did you go to McDade?
For kindergarten, I did. Kindergarten, I did.
McDade's a good school. Still
now.
Now, yeah, that's when they did the pre-game for gentrification, right?
Right.
And now it's a classical school, and you have to test in, even though you live across the street. Do you eat gyros or gyros? I know what you're gonna say now, but what would you have said? What would have young Kennard said?
A gyro.
Okay.
A gyro. Gyro, gyro. Whatever it was in Jewtown, whatever that was.
That part, or 87th Street Pee-wees.
Right.
How many pennies make a dime, Kennard?
10.
You actually still said that like you're from Chicago. And having such a musically involved career, what's the song that gets a rotation in your playlist every day?
Biggie, Get Money.
Oh, I like that. And that actually doesn't, it still tickles me when I see you go from Kennard Gibbs, the executive, to KG. That's
right.
Still it just tickles me, but I love it. It's necessary. Kennard, thank you for spending your morning with the Book of Dawn, aka the Get Fresh crew. When the world opens back up,
thank you all for having me. Thank you, please.
It was great, and we need you. We need you for the culture.
I'd love to talk more about it with you whenever you like, because it's so many facets to it. Things that we could go deep into, the aspirational aspects of the culture. Why? I mean, just in the hip hop world alone, right? Why everybody want to go to the Hamptons? Where did that all come from? We could go deep.
Okay, well then
love
let's make a plan to do it whenever you're available. You tell me what the subject is, and we'll make it happen. And then when the world opens back up in July, because I guess we're opening back up, you can come in studio and do it, and yeah, right, because that would be dope. I love you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for really doing it for the culture. That's not just a hashtag, but that's a lifestyle for you. I appreciate you. Give your wife and kiddos my love, and tell your friend that you introduced me to Molly. I'm going to slide in her DM because I believe she'd be a great guest.
She would be. Molly would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of what you're building and doing. It's, you know, I've known you a long time, and nothing you do ever surprises me. So
thank you. Thank you, Kennard. I love you, brother.
Okay.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. It's the Book of Dawn.
Okay, thank you.
WIFTPM.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community, because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mama and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Grab me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
It ain't nothing like being fresh, baby. Living 100% free. So fresh. Let's go. Let's go. It's the one and only D. Jones, baby. I'm so fresh. Nothing can save you. This be the season for crushing the haters. Cut off the lesson and deal with the greater. Don't let nobody separate you from creator. Fuck you, don't do me no favors. If you gon' keep on saying I owe you a favor, do it from your heart, the reward gon' be greater. Go from being a private lieutenant to major. The spirit has so many flavors, but we can't see when focus is strictly on paper. We all have big faces on paper. Let's get this money, we'll change our behavior. And be fresh every day. Change your attitude. Cut the hate. Ain't scared to tell the truth. Steady elevating. We come up here from you. Let's celebrate. We fresh today. Fresh every day. What you gotta choose.
Get fresh crew. Oh, I was changing the words. Welcome back. You're tuned into the Book of Dawn. The Get Fresh crew, Nephew Ron, Mary Q, 9 a.m. weekdays. And you know what? I just have to say this again. So proud. 9 a.m. Thank you, Maze, because we've been on time-ish. 9:05 technically. But I'll take 905 over 90 question mark. Sorry. I want y'all to know that Nephew Ron's shoes are fresh to death, but mine old school fresh. I got on the old school kicks.
I want some of those.
Fresh, ain't they fresh? All clean and stuff.
I bought a Fila jacket a couple years ago. I still have yet to worn it just because I don't have any Fila shoes.
Where I got these? I want to say Foot Locker. Foot Locker on Milwaukee. Not Milwaukee. Yeah, it's Milwaukee. It's like 2900 North. You have to actively look for shoes if you like the old school
nowadays.
Shoes. Yeah,
man. Because
wait, let me stop lying. I got these at Nordstrom Rack, and I want to say I got them out the man section.
Which one? On Roosevelt?
On Clyburn. Clyburn and over there by Uncle Julio's, off North Avenue, kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
5-way street. The one on Chicago Avenue used to have some really good deals, but I went in there the other day and almost slapped the sales lady for. So I need luggage, right? I need new luggage because my bag got abused by the handlers, and I'm just like, A, that wasn't cheap, and B, they tore it up, and so I went in there because they sell. I like Toomey luggage, and their prices they get a much better price than when you go to Toomey, like because it's the aftermarket price, right? And I walk in and they have all the luggage, and then they have this super dope black Gucci luggage.
Nice.
A small carry-on and a whatever the bigger carry-on size is. I'm like, oh, that's dope. So I go and look at the small one, and it's like $4 or $5.99, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. And then I look at the big one, and it's the same price. I say, how long? H-O-L-on. How long? How is this one and this one the same price?
Yes.
Not just. I literally looked at the bag. I was having a conversation with the bag because this is what we're not. Ma'am, is this marked wrong? Because there's no way that the little one. This should be like, if this is $2.99, it's going home. This size, I'm talking about like a carrier jewelry. That stuff you don't want to check, carry on. Mm-hmm. And then a weekender.
Literally the same price, or they like similar, like
literally.
So did they fix the pricing?
No, they gave me my resting bee face. I don't
know what to tell you. Like,
either you take it or leave it.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
I was literally like, okay, well. All right, well, because who would do that? There's got to be a couple hundred cheaper.
That's why you got to go in there and switch the tags.
Look, I'm like,
I haven't done that in a long time. I don't know.
Or just
statute of limitations.
Because what is fix it?
Let me drop this on you before I let y'all get out of here, because I want y'all to know the game in the game, right? I saw a news story the other day. Mattel, you know who Mattel is? It's a huge toy maker. The company, Mattel, right? They made Barbies. Y'all know what Barbies are, right? When I was buying Barbies, you could actually bend their knee. Like it was fleshy, and you could bend the knee, right?
I know which ones you're talking about.
Matchbox. You know the Matchbox cars? And then, like, the Mega Brands company. Anyway, y'all know the value of old Barbies and stuff, right? Like, people can sell those for.
I have a friend that collects them.
My auntie got a few of them.
Yeah. If I knew, I would have all. Because I was, baby.
Mm-hmm.
When I got my Barbie dream house, it was my current height. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a shawty, and the Barbie dream house was 5 foot something. Mm-hmm, like, the cars, I had it all. Like, I was a Barbie head. Do you know? This the game. This the spin on it. So I'm saying this to say, if you have old Barbies and old Matchboxes, let me tell you how much they're worth. Mattel announced the other day that they are sending people prepaid postage to send in their old Barbies and Matchbox cars, alleging they're going to repurpose the parts to make new toys. You lying. That's gang. Gang recognized gang.
Okay.
So you're going to send me, you're going to pay for me to give you what costs, what's valued in my basement.
So you're basically saying that they're
That's
thieves.
bull
They're-
junk.
They're crooks. They're crooks.
Google vintage Barbies. I'm sure they're worth more than repurpose. That ain't you, because then what you'll do is put it in you'll fix it up a little bit and resell it
Probably resell it.
for gabillions. Get out of here. So if you have old Matchbox cars and old Barbies and you
know they doing that. They starting to do that with the playing cards too. So like people who do like got Pokemon cards and stuff like that. Old cards.
I forgot about
And I'm mad because I used to have like a collection.
Oh,
and
Ryan
I
loves
threw
some
'em away.
Pokemon, baby.
I threw it away, and now they talking about they worth all this money.
Yeah, I got in trouble.
Yeah,
Ryan Henry, because I used to, back before the games cost billions of dollars, I used to buy all those game sets for them. And when she went away to college, I was thinking she's not going to play this anymore, and I donated the one that is the Nintendo that costs a bag of money right now, that Nintendo is trying to buy back from people. I think that was the game system that's worth a gang of money. Yeah, I wish I could go back and get that from the Goodwill. I was like, she
Which one? The 64?
Probably. Well, is that the expensive one? Look,
That's how he got sold. That's how you ended up giving it away.
Yeah, well, it was, you don't know, she had gone to college. She hadn't used it, and then she asked me to send it to her, and I was like, oh, you had wanted that? My bad. I gave them all away. The cartridges, everything.
I'm looking at these Barbies. You got them for $1,500, $2,500, $9,000.
I know that.
Yeah.
Because I've already, and you're going to give me an envelope and pay for it to send it back, and you're going to repurpose it. Whatever. That's game. Mm-hmm. And the Matchbox cars, those are collectors too. And speaking of collectors, I was in Aldi, not all D's, yesterday, and I saw Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, wow.
Not the whole kid, but like a little baby bundle of a kid. He was in a bunting, or he or she. The big.
We had a lot of Cabbage Patch Kids growing up.
Cabbage Patch Kids, I bet you, are in the collectors.
The cartoons, and oh my gosh, loved it.
Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids were the rave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, did you have a Cabbage Patch?
No.
Baby, a lot,
Heard
but you
talking
know.
about, heard some about Ron Wood have a Pokemon collection. I had one. Yeah, I was a kid. I think all kids had the cards.
Yeah.
It's just like in their time with the sports trading cards.
Yeah, the baseball
Of
cards.
course, if you didn't have the cards, you wasn't cool.
Facts.
With
Yeah.
Pokemon, I remember that.
But I did,
And
yeah.
games
A lot of those cards, those sports cards, and that's a big industry too.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball and the autograph signing. I know that Michael Tyson's been here a lot. They get a lot of money for that. Be careful though when you go to those, because you want the ones that you see the person sign. Because I'm not going to name any names, but I've signed for people before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when you have to sign like 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
Girl, ain't no celebrity sitting up somewhere signing. That ain't a thing.
Oh,
Somebody that is good with the hand does that.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, it's for the culture, right? But yeah, so if you have old Barbies and you decide you don't want them, shouts out to Robin Patrice. Do y'all follow her on Instagram?
Yeah, she got some fly clothes.
Ooh, baby,
Yes.
them T-shirts.
Look, if I had a girlfriend,
Maybe them T-shirts is on fire.
Yeah, I saw some new ones.
Yeah, she dropped
Time
the
to go
whole,
shopping.
you dig. Like
Shop Robin Patrice.
Yeah, man, 2bs.com.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. So back to my J-Lo. I don't have a problem. I'm not in your bedroom. I'm just saying sometimes be still. There's value in being still and getting to know yourself. Sometimes you can talk to yourself. You can have sex with
How
yourself.
old
You
is
can
she?
do all that.
It's getting to know yourself now. How old is she?
She's 50, but guess what? Be still. Old people would tell you sit down
know
somewhere.
yourself by now, though.
Sometimes you don't. She's been in the business and working and since she was a fly girl on In Living Color. Like, she probably knew that Jenny from the block. She might not know J-Lo, or she might know Jennifer, but there's always an evolution of self where you still you don't need one be still period in life. You need several.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when people say take several seats, sometimes you got to take several seats. And when you keep jumping in and out of relationship, having kids, and you're so celebrated, you really need the downtime because it's a whirlwind around you. Like, when do you really get a chance to center? When you got to work, and create. And she's one of the baddest in the game to me. She might not be at the Whitney Houston level of singing, but as a performer, I would put her in my top 10 for sure.
Okay.
And she's beautiful.
Yeah, she goes in top 10.
Without a doubt. And her stage presence is phenomenal, and her energy is great. But I just want her or whoever I'm talking to, sit down somewhere. Sit down, take a seat in your grandmother's voice. No.
I agree with you. I'm just wondering why the taking a seat hasn't occurred, or you
go from
things
puff
going on
to
behind.
like.
There could be so much going on behind doors, right? So I'm thinking about what could possibly be going on behind doors.
Sometimes people bounce like that because they're afraid of what they might find out about themselves. Sometimes
she's dated Diddy.
Before Diddy. That was
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
She dated Drake for a small period of time. Mark Anthony.
That's baby daddy, I think.
Chris Jude. I don't know that guy.
He was an athlete.
And Johnny Noah. I don't know that guy either.
I don't know him, but there's more.
So you don't believe that these
Casper Smart.
Like people are
keep going because if you don't get to the number 13, I don't think you got them.
God dang, Alex Rodriguez.
That's A-Rod. That's who she
But
is.
it's
Not
because
they were perfect.
You don't think it's because it's just celebrities? It's just people that's in the media? Because if you think about the average woman that you personally know, that's a friend or friends of friends, whatever, how many people have they dated from the time? How old was J-Lo when she was a fly girl?
Had to be young 20s, I would assume.
Okay, so
she's 50 now. And
so
that was
young
20s
to 50s, and you think about friends in your own backyard, how many people they've dated.
I'm glad you asked.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it could be the same-ish number,
right.
Maybe yes, maybe no, and it's just because they're in the media that it looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But this is my point. I'm glad you asked. I'm saying this to everybody.
For everybody?
Like, because me, had to be still. There's a time you just got to sit down. Because you're chasing something that you probably don't even yet know the answer to until you take the time to sit down and know yourself. Like, you can't even say, like, how, to thine own self be true. If you don't know self, how can you be true to self? And so I've had timeouts. Not like I was out here slanging coochie, but the interaction with other spirit energy. The conversation, the time that it takes to interact and get to know a person. How can you get to know a person and you don't even know yourself? So I'm saying, I don't care. I'm using her as a recent example. But I look at Puff. I look at Sean Love Combs, because he changed his middle name from John to Love legally.
Good for him.
Yeah, just slow down with that, Sean. Like, stop, you doing too much. But
this is like the what?
Boy, slow down. Like, slow down. Sit down with yourself. But I'm saying even him. I watched when the twins' mom died. When Kim Porter died, he was devastated. I think he's still devastated at the loss of her because she was such a good person.
Okay.
But he was so busy moving on to the, what's the little girl, Cassidy, and then when she died, he was forced to be still. And then it all came rushing back. If he had maybe sat down after they broke up and not been so busy extravagantly posting, maybe he'd have been back with her before she died. And the next 5 girls when he dated his sons, the Harvey child and all that. That's all I'm saying.
That's interesting because with you saying that, you're bringing up grief.
Yeah.
And there is a grieving process. Like there's apparently, I believe it's 5 stages to grief.
Yeah. And so when you break up with somebody,
that's still a loss, And sometimes when you're winning, when things change, whether it's like change period, there's a moment where you have to adjust. So I don't. Maybe
now
it has
you're
something to do
picking
with
up what I'm putting down because
I get it.
Toni Braxton, I would put her in that category. Girl, sit down. Halle Berry, sit down. Like, it's okay to be single. That's all I want y'all to know. That's an okay space.
Mm-hmm.
Like to just not be committed or overly committed. Date, have fun, but be true to yourself. That's all I'm saying. This is not a relationship show, but I'm just saying.
What did you say?
What I live by.
But here's 2 things. Tomorrow's Freestyle Friday. It's Orange Friday. I'm afraid of what's going to come out.
Why?
Oh, no. Sometimes Freestyle Friday, I literally don't plan. I do the basics.
Hey, Callie said she wanted to come on and rap. We got to see if we can get her Zoom or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, did she say she's going to rap? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to see if she has school tomorrow. Here's 2 things. Important. Pick this one up. Never discuss winning with losers. It's not their language.
Oh, wow.
Different language. And don't let anyone who hasn't been in your shoes tell you how to lace them.
How would you know if you're talking to a loser or not?
Your spirit man should let you. Or you got to be still. See, that's a question for J-Lo. How do you know if you're talking to a loser? Okay, I'm not. I'm going to leave her alone because I'm her fan. I do like A-Rod, too. I think I liked them as a couple, which is why it's important to me.
I did, too. I was a little surprised.
I'm a little disappointed. They were such a dope.
I do remember thinking, I was like, I think she got it.
Yeah, I felt like that was her one, and I'm not
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. But even if your shoes are fly, don't let anyone who hasn't worn them tell you how to lace them. Thank you for tuning in to the Book of Dawn. Tune in tomorrow for the next page in chapter 55. Remember to lead with love. Use your voice to be a positive impact. Do something for somebody other than yourself. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, peace. Roll, Tide, roll.
WIFTBP